Hello everyone. We have an interesting project today. The project is about playing 3D in browser. The technology used behind this is WebGL. So let's have a quick look what it is. This is our project. So the project has a 3D environment. This room is a 3D environment, and inside that I've placed this heart model. This is a 3D model created using Blender. So it's very detailed. If you look at it, you can see the heart valves inside, and you can move around. You can see from here also. You can move around. Now, how this works is like we have used three technologies in this. One is WebGL for 3D. Then speech synthesis for saying out things from the browser, and speech recognition for understanding some keywords that we want people to use to interact with this particular activity. So how does that work is that when I click on the start button, it will ask me for the keyword. If I say the right keyword, it will play a little animation. Let's start doctor. So it understood the keyword and it started playing the animation. So these particles are generated using WebGL, and the model, it had an animation in it. So the model is being rotated as well as the heart is beating. You can see the heartbeat. And also the doctor name, which was inputted at the beginning, is being printed out over here. So nice. The text is 2D, so that's why it doesn't have a depth. So this is how it works. So now let's go back in code and see how this was implemented. So the problem statement. We went through the demo, but the problem statement which we are targeting over here is to show 3D content in the browser. So normally you would have some marketing activity where you would want to, like if there's a car launch or there's a doctor activity where the human anatomy has to be shown. So for these kind of to implement such things, you need to be able to show 3D content in the browser. Now our solution, how do we implement this? So to implement show 3D content in the browser, WebGL is the only technology available. Although CSS also has some 3D, but then it cannot import a 3D model as such. So the 3D model is created using Blender, Maya. So these are the file types: OBJ, FBX. Can be imported and can be controlled. How do you control it? Is like you can control its mover, positioning, XYZ. Also you can control its animation, which are built into the model. So the popular libraries are WebGL libraries. Directly coding in WebGL, I don't know, it's quite complicated. So there are these libraries which isolate the nitty-gritties from us. So the first one is quite popular, 3JS, and the second one is Babylon.js. Somehow, 3JS is something which I could not really, start running with. I tried a couple of times, but somehow it didn't fit my kind of understanding. So Babylon.js is it's something which worked straight out for me. There are a lot of advantages of Babylon.js, although it's not as popular as 3.js. One thing is it is it was acquired by Microsoft, so it has a solid backing. Then the syntax and the implementation it's very intuitive. And if you like, let's just go through the website. This is Babylon.js. It's the best part is this thing, playground. In the playground you get every kind of example that you're looking for, so it becomes very easy to implement. You need a reference for anything, just go around, look for it, and you will find it. You'll find something or the other. And so this is the library. You can go through it. It has examples for almost everything that is implemented in it, so it makes it very easy for somebody to pick it up. Okay, now how do we implement it? Obviously it's in JavaScript. Everything done in Java in the browser is through JavaScript. So you create a HTML5 canvas. You import the mesh, the 3D model, the heart model that we did was through importing mesh. Import animations in the 3D model, so so that you have an array of all the animations which are there, and then you can refer to it and play them and stop them. Rotate, so rotate the 3D model to face the user. So you need to have the model in such a reference that when the user is looking at the browser, he's able to see it. So positioning it, rotating it, position and rotate it, these two things. Then create a sky map container. So over that temple background that was there, that was the sky map container. That is basically your world, your sky, your ground, and things around you. So that's the sky map. And then add lights. Otherwise, and there are various types of lights. So how you want your model to be kind of displayed, that depends a lot on the light that is being put on it. And then create UI. So if you want to take user input, like here we take user input, just refresh it. So this is the user input. We take some input over here. To take this input, we need UI elements, which are again supported by WebGL. That's all you need to do, and you have a running activity. Great. Now let's see a little bit of code. So see, the way we are structuring these sessions are that it's not like a very detailed walkthrough of the code. It is more of kind of getting an understanding. So what, there is a problem statement that or there is a requirement, then how do you solve that particular requirement, and then the technical part, the implementation part. So a little bit of everything, so you get an understanding of like how end to end it was a solution is delivered. So that is how these videos are structured. They would not have very deep kind of code walkthrough, but we can do that in certain scenarios. So if you look at it, these are the keywords. These are the keywords that you could say, and then the animation would start playing. Let's go to the main part, which is create scene. Yeah. So this is how you create your engine, the main engine, which is just passed to the scene. So these are default things. You don't need to be very creative about this. Where you start doing your things is like adding a camera. So the camera is what is giving you a view into the environment, the 3D environment that has been created. So based on the camera that you create, it would show the world in a different way. So here I'm using an arc rotate camera. Then you attach the camera to the canvas. So this is done. Then we create a light, hemispheric light. Hemispheric light will, it's not a focused light. It will just, it will kind of give you a light as kind of how sun gives. It lights up everything. It's not like your spotlight or something like that. Although you have these options, other light options like directional light, spotlight, and all those things. It depends on what is the environment and how the environment you are trying to showcase. So now what we did was we created the engine, we created our scene, we created camera, and we put up a light in that. Now the next thing that we need to do is import the scene. Here we have it. So in our scene, the most important part is a 3D model. This is to import the 3D model. Scene.gltf. GLTF is another 3D extension which is supported by Babylon. We import the heart. The heart is the file name is scene.gltf, and using import mesh, we are able to import it within our environment. And as I mentioned earlier, we need a skybox, right? So the skybox is the world in which whatever else that you import will be placed. So we create this skybox over here, and the skybox can have it could have an element like a predefined model which can be used over there. So this room the temple room that we saw, that is what is being used as a skybox over here. Then we have like those particles which, like, after once the keyword is recognized, you have all those glowing particles floating around. Those are native to Babylon JS. You have a lot of other variety of things which you can create on the fly. You don't need to import them. Then you have this the UI part where you need to take input from the user. So let's see a bit of that. This is our UI, the one which we saw in the beginning. So I am not going to go very detailed into this particular thing. Let's just see it very quickly. So you create the UI, the graphical user interface GUI, and then you put a panel in it, and then you add elements. So panel is like your kind of a HTML dialog or something like that, and then you put each of the elements in that. So things which require input are the things which are just for display purposes. You can use text blocks, and like we have a button over here. So you have text, and then you have a button to take the activity forward. So this is about the graphic elements. So in summary, let's just look at what we covered in this video. So 3D sky map, which is our world. How to create that? So create, then import 3D models, speech recognition, speech utterance. So these two are not very very detailed in this video. We'll take it up later in later videos, but these things we have covered in detail. So hopefully you were able to get a grip of this particular requirement and probably find a use case in your projects where you can implement this. So thanks for watching.